What's up, guys? Coach Brian here. I am live. It's Sunday. Sunday fun day. What's up, Evans? Yeah, long time no see. What's up, everybody? Yeah. It's been a long time since I've trained on a Sunday. So, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. I know the music's kind of loud. Let me know if you guys can hear my voice, or if I need to go somewhere quiet. 15 people, what's up? Thanks for the thumbs up. All right. How do you say that? Poliag? I don't know how to say your name. Pol-A-G? Loud and clear. Okay, perfectly. So the music's not distracting. Okay, good. So this is typical. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. So this is a typical Sunday open mat here at PG. A lot of the guys have stopped grappling, and now most are moving over to kickboxing. So a lot of people do kickboxing on Sundays. We are winding down a little bit. And I just wanted to mention, I saw that there was a tournament for Snake Pit USA was doing a catch wrestling world championship or tournament. And I got to see some of their matches. You guys can watch it on their YouTube channel. I don't remember the exact, it was like Snake Pit, maybe like Snake Pit Wigan or something like that. So they if you just search it, you can see a lot of the matches from the event. And I just thought it was interesting and something to talk about. I have two opinions on it that I'm basically going to talk about, the positive and then the negative as well. So the positive, I think it's really cool to see another form of grappling in addition to what we already have. We have jiu-jitsu, we have wrestling, we have judo, we have sambo. We have no-gi jiu-jitsu, if you want to differentiate that between no-gi and gi, sometimes called grappling. We have UWW, which I used to compete in. I was on 2 world teams. But back then it was FILA when I did it. Same stuff as what UWW is today. Oh man, got some good stuff going on. So, wrestler, you got one of my wrestlers right here, going with one of my jiu-jitsu guys, right? If you want to call it jiu-jitsu, our style is definitely kind of like a hybrid of jiu-jitsu, catch wrestling-esque, and there it is. You get a classic example of wrestler with the shoes on who doesn't do jiu-jitsu. He's a part of our gym though, so he learns jiu-jitsu indirectly. He is bigger than Ali, but he's also a senior in high school student. Ali, the other guy, he's been training for couple months. He's got like 3 months of what you would call Peterson Grappler's Jiu-Jitsu, right? Our version. Look at this right here. Let's see. What is he going to do? We got snap down by wrestler. And time's up. Okay, not very entertaining, but keep going. Keep going. There you go. Oh, I love Bacon in San Andreas. I love Greco-Roman. At the same time, I don't like it, but I love it. Oh, we got guillotine versus double leg. And classic wrestler. Probably doesn't know exactly how to defend it, but he is getting on his toes. He's driving. Is he going to survive this? We got some coaching going over here, helping out. He gets out of that guillotine. We got a guard pass. Oh, there's a little, looks like catch. This is what I was going to talk about. Looks like catch wrestling. We're turtling. Ali been training. Oh, look at this. Not bad as he scrambles back out. Oh, a Sotogari. Wrestler says no way. Oh, gets lateral dropped. Good job. Wrestler's learning quick, but he's got about a year of wrestling with me. Guy on top and guy on bottom's probably got about 3 months. But anyway, good little matchup. How's he gonna deal with the guard? Triangle? We did triangles this week. Nope. Couldn't put together the triangle. Gets his guard passed. My high school wrestler here, he's getting ready for his high school wrestling season, but comes in on Sunday to do a little cross training just for fun. He'll get some extra work in. Again, he never takes a jiu-jitsu class, but wrestling kind of gives you, do submission. What was that, Mikey? No, hey, we're getting entertained over here with wrestler versus jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah, jiu-jitsu guy's got like 2-3 months. Yeah. Oh! We got another triangle situation. Hey, just so you guys know, there's a lot on the line right now. You guys got like the whole world watching you live. And when I say the whole world, I mean 24 people. Dang. With a little bit of 8 Mile. What's up, B-Rabbit? Does this mean I'm gonna get flagged for like copyright? Backstep, backstep, backstep. Oh, there you go. Put the hooks in, go for a choke. This looks like catch wrestling. Oh my gosh, how ironic. I was literally gonna talk about this. No, don't do a half. Oh man, yes. In catch wrestling, you're getting pinned. But is he in the guard? No, he's in half guard. We would get the 1, 2, 3 pin right here. Oh, wrestler showing I can hammer fist. Ali, get your guard going. Let's go. Frame. Hip escape. Jordan, press your way to the mount. Push the knee to the mount. There you go. Just choke him with your forearm. Yeah? And then now get your foot to the mount. Get your foot to the mount. There it is. Distraction. Now, Jordan, you've seen the UFC. Get to an armbar. Choke him with your forearm first. There you go. Now get him to turn on his side, and when he does, go for an armbar. There you go. Nolly, and he gets him. Good job, boys. Great job. Little fatigue. See that? Wrestler. Wrestler can learn an armbar on the fly. How'd you learn an armbar like that? From watching the UFC? From me? Yeah, but I don't teach you armbars like that.
Open mat.
Oh, just
7 to 9.
from just going to open mat. Nice.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep. All right, guys. Damn. All right, guys. I'm gonna bring it in here, give you my thoughts real quick. So I saw the catch wrestling tournament. So the catch wrestling tournament, guys, I know Josh Barnett is big on promoting the sport, and I think it's awesome. The good things about catch, we get to see more wrestling. So we get to see the takedowns of wrestling involved a little bit more, no guard pulling. So there's a tournament coming up that Josh Barnett's putting on. I believe it's called American Catch Wrestling Association. It's coming up. Let me plug them real quick. It's called the ACWA US Open, American Catch Wrestling Association. So it's coming up on December 17th, and it's going to be down at my buddy Fergus is putting it on at his school at Brea Linda High School. See that? We got Brea Linda. Shout out to Fergus, the tagger. Yeah, so you guys, look, it's only, how much? It's like $40. I think if you pre-register, it's like $40, something like that. And I was reading the breakdown of rules. Yeah, I don't think it has the oh, there it is. Yeah, it's only $40. You guys see that? So it's pretty cheap. I think if you sign up late, it's like $50, which is still cheaper than most jiu-jitsu tournaments. Let's talk about these rules of catch wrestling. Simple breakdown. You can win by pin, submission, or points. So pin is when both wrestlers' shoulders are pinned to the mat for a silent 3 count. Okay, it's not pro wrestling. They're not going to go 1, 2, 3. A pin cannot be counted while wrestlers scissor or guard, or if caught in a submission, which is called a catch. So, for example, let's say you're in the full guard, you can't pin the guy. But as far as I know, as long as you're in half guard, then it's fine, because then it's what we call a Turk in wrestling, and you could be pinned. What about a catch? So let's say a guy on the bottom has a submission. Let's say I'm on my back in half guard, and I've got a Kimura, and I'm putting your arm behind your back. If you're in that situation, you cannot pin the bottom wrestler. So submission is when a legal hold makes a wrestler give up, either verbally or tapping the mat or opponent 3 times. I like how they put in there 3 times, because sometimes guys do this one tap stuff, and then it like really clouds whether it was a submission or not. Anyway, points are scored as follows: 2-point takedown, 1-point escape, 2-point reversal. Very similar to folk style. 3-point throw straight to an opponent's back. So if you throw them straight on their back, you're going to get 3 instead of just 2, and you get 4 points for high amplitude, like a suplex. Matches are 6 minutes. Shoes are allowed. Headgear's allowed. Illegal holds. No heel hooks or modified heel hooks. Reverse toe hold or Aoki lock, etc. So heel hooks are basically out, guys. The reverse toe hold, it's kind of dangerous. Affects the ankle, possibly the knee, and much like an inverted heel hook. So that one's out. Spiking an opponent on their head or neck. So I assume suplexing is okay, but they don't want you to pick a guy up, invert him like a pile driver. Scissor takedowns, that's Kani Basami. Throwing submissions, that would be like grabbing a guy's arm and then throwing him over your shoulder like a seonagi, but having his elbow going in the wrong direction. And there's many others like that. Another example would be like the Kimura or double wrist lock a la Mark Schultz. No pulling. No guard. Sorry, I thought I got distracted. Somebody came in. No guard pulling or stalling. So you can't pull guard, guys. So you gotta try to go for the takedown. And strict will not be a strict uniform. No loose fitting gear, t-shirts. You want to wear a rash guard or something like that. Board shorts are fine, or grappling styled shorts. Yeah, no, all levels are basically thrown together. $40 when pre-registered, $50 at the door. Women compete for free. So pretty cool. They have weight classes. So there's your weight classes right there. I'm not going to go through them all. And they're going to bracket them up. It could be spectators $5 at the door, 18 years old and up. So it could be round robin. It could be a bracket, depending on how big the division is. And that's about it. There's a rundown. So if you guys wanted to go and check it out. A new style. I know some people are going to say, this has been going on for a long time. Guys, catch wrestling is very obscure. Let's be honest here. Jiu-jitsu can be found everywhere, but catch wrestling is not found everywhere. So very cool to have a different style. It's going to develop, if all we had was kickboxing and we did not have boxing, kickboxers just would not be as good at hands. So as boxers, when you have the sport of boxing, you develop your hands. When you have the sport of taekwondo, you develop your kicks to a crazy level. So now, kind of using that analogy in the grappling world, by having catch wrestling, we will develop other submissions you don't see in jiu-jitsu often. If a guy is in the turtle position because he doesn't want to be pinned, we're going to see some different types of toe hold leg submissions from the turtle that you just kind of don't see in jiu-jitsu because guys will just go to their back. You're going to see the turtle position a lot. I watched these matches last night and I saw a lot of turtling because guys don't want to get pinned. And so, in that regard, it's a different style. You're going to see different stuff. You're going to see guys fight for takedowns, no guard pulling, and so on. So these are kind of good things. Now, the negatives are the same thing that the positives are the negatives also. By guys turtling, you're going to see guys doing things that if a broad range of submissions are available and or if pins are not a big deal, you are going to see submissions happen to those guys. Like, so if a catch wrestler jumps into a submission-oriented sport like jiu-jitsu where there are no pins, he's now going to be much less familiar with all the things that jiu-jitsu does. So I definitely believe that jiu-jitsu is the more free-flowing, but I do like the aspect that catch wrestling has the neck cranks and things like that. So, there's always going to be positives and negatives. Now, if you're on the catch wrestling side, you're going to poo-poo the jiu-jitsu stuff because of the guard pulling, as I do as well. But if we're honest about it, catch wrestling has its own drawbacks, and they're not going to be aware of the guard intricacies nearly as much. But the jiu-jitsu guys don't have the takedown abilities as much. Now, I'll say this. There are great takedowns in jiu-jitsu, largely because you get guys coming from judo and or wrestling backgrounds, mostly wrestling backgrounds, and they are really good at amateur wrestling, folk style, freestyle, Greco, and so they jump into jiu-jitsu and they do amazing. Now, catch wrestling, the same way, you're going to have wrestlers that are going to say, well, I'm going to go do a catch wrestling tournament. I like that. It's a little easier to transition into that than it is to go into a jiu-jitsu rule set. It might be easier for a wrestler, in the beginning. I definitely think so. But what I'm trying to say is catch wrestling might have more takedowns than jiu-jitsu, you could argue. However, because catch wrestling is so small, you're only going to get so many wrestlers come and do it. Jiu-jitsu has way more wrestlers doing it because it's just a more popular sport. So at the high levels, the jiu-jitsu guys have the better wrestlers than the catch wrestling guys thus far. And I'm basing that mostly on what I've seen thus far. I watched a lot of the Snake Pit World Championship. We saw some good wrestling for sure. But those guys would not be able to perform that way at ADCC. There are some very good wrestlers at ADCC, Polaris, Quintet. You're seeing some high-level wrestling in that as well. So either way, I hope that makes sense, being honest about it. So either way, it's great. It's a net positive because with different rule sets, it allows for some variability. Someone mentioned earlier that they were talking about Greco-Roman, that they want me to teach more Greco-Roman. Guys, do I like Greco-Roman? Yes, I like Greco-Roman. Again, sometimes I look at Greco and I'm like, it's a silly sport. When you're not able to grab the legs, it is limited. But think about what it does. By taking out the legs in Greco-Roman, you develop your throws. And Greco-Roman guys are the best at throws, and then let me say, but Greco-Roman doesn't allow the leg contact, so the judo guys still have the monopoly on throws using the legs. Freestylers do it too, but they are not as good as judo guys. A judo guy's uchimata across the board is clearly better than the wrestler's uchimata. Of course, there are greats like Satyev. They could, uchimata, but for the most part, most wrestlers cannot uchimata to the same level as their counterpart in judo. Do you see? So by having these different rule sets, we get to develop our grappling to high degrees in these areas. And it makes for a beautiful science in all these different areas. Now, when you put them all together is the question over what's most effective. And that gets answered, I think, at ADCC. But I remember, ADCC is a submission-only oriented. When I say submission-only, obviously they have points, but I'm saying it's submission. They do not reward pinning like they do in judo and wrestling. So then we have to ask, or we could ask, is pinning important enough to reward it? In my opinion, no. If you want to just have pinning, we already have wrestling. We have many forms: Greco, freestyle, folk style, and now we have catch. That's great. But to me, at the pinnacle of grappling, to me, the pin is not the ultimate. It is the submission for me, and I'm a wrestler. But either way, we still have it. The option's there. But for me, ADCC right now is the king. It has the best guys overall. For me, that's the king. Not IBJJF. I'm gonna say ADCC. Some people would throw in like the tournament that I went to, what is now called UWW World Championships. Again, I placed at those World Championships. I don't think that they are at the level of ADCC at all, but they're still very good. Those guys that are winning that tournament are very good, as I think that when I did it, I feel like I was pretty good, but I do not consider it ADCC level. So anyway, let me go to some comments, guys. Tell me what you guys think about what I said. Is there something else I missed? Comment down below. So let me quickly scroll through. Someone wants to train with me. Looks like from a Russian country, but they're on the other side of the world. Thank you. Yeah, let's see. None of those guys were catch wrestlers earlier. Hate breed. Can I start making Greco-Roman videos? Sure, I can do a few. It's not my absolute expertise, but I can always do some basics of Greco. Yes, I will be going to ADCC, guys. Nick Vuk asks. And I think I'm going to be giving away another ticket for ADCC like I did last time. TeachMeGrappling, did you wrestle in college? No, I did not. I wrestled freestyle and Greco-Roman against college wrestlers, but I did not wrestle folk style in college, for any college. I wrestled with college guys at practice. I did not wrestle officially in college. I went straight towards jiu-jitsu and MMA. Is there a lot of belly down stalling and catch? One of the things I dislike about judo is how much people rely on going belly down. Great. So I don't know how to say your name, Poliag or Polag or whatever. Yes, this was something that I saw. Because people turtle and catch, it makes for kind of a very, in a different kind of boring. See, jiu-jitsu is boring because you'll see guys in the guard and one guy can't pass and the other guy can't submit or sweep or back take, and it kind of gets boring, Well, catch wrestling has its own version of boring, and it's called the turtle position. The guy on top can't submit the guy or turn his opponent to his back, and the bottom guy just lays there. We saw a little bit of that with the Livesley match with Barnett. So Josh Barnett had a match with Owen, and looked like Barnett was resting in the turtle position, and occasionally he would reach back for a double wrist lock or kimura, and he couldn't get it, and he was able to rest, and then later he got up so he could try to go for a takedown, but to no avail. It didn't work out, but it kind of made for like a stall position. You get guy. I even saw a guy belly down, just lay on his belly and just hide from cross facing. So I don't like that either. I don't like that. It's kind of boring. But either way, it's interesting too. So as guys get better at catch wrestling, they'll learn how to crack the egg, just like in jiu-jitsu. So thank you, Valiant Thor, for finding this channel. He says, folk style derives from catch wrestling. That's where it started. Yes, you are right. But it is now a completely different animal. So, yes, it evolved from catch wrestling. But folk style is now a sport all in its own. And I love it. And I think it is amazing without submissions. It's an incredible sport that develops, like I said, just much like boxing develops hands, folk style wrestling develops takedowns, control, escapes, reversals, pinning, like you would not believe, that you will never see in catch wrestling. You will never see the sophistication that we see in folk style in a catch wrestling match, due to catch wrestling having submissions involved. And yeah, it's just not going to get there. But they're both great in their own right. So Valiant Thor is like, know your history. You know, obviously guys that do catch wrestling are very proud of their heritage of catch wrestling. And I get it. I understand it, but at the same time, I would also argue that catch wrestling is not folk style wrestling. Folk style wrestling is its own, and they are completely different. So they, just because one came from the other, it's not the same. Which is sometimes confused. People confuse them a lot, and it's annoying. Okay, quick question. Most cite the pins as negative in catch and wrestling overall. Yeah, so I kind of talked about that. In a real world situation, I don't want to be on my back. Asphalt, gravel, glass, etc. 100%. Would fit to avoid their pin. Yes. No. I'm not saying pinning isn't important or good or anything like that. But should a pin end the match? Not in a fight. No, it should be strikes, cranking someone, making them surrender, making them give up, things like that. Pinning should not be the end, in my opinion, at the pinnacle, if we're going to do it. That's my problem with catch. But I still admit that it's another grappling style, and I think it's cool. I think it's good, much like any of the other styles. I personally don't like guard pulling, so that's why I like catch. So I don't like guard pulling. I think that if you want to improve jiu-jitsu, I think you could outlaw guard pulling, and I think you would net improve jiu-jitsu grappling overall. You would weaken the guard play by outlawing guard pulling, but I think overall you would strengthen jiu-jitsu as a grappling sport. And I think ADCC kind of does that by they don't outlaw it, but it's like -1. In other words, I think jiu-jitsu could improve by allowing the top player, if a guy pulls guard, the top player gets a point. I think that is a net improvement. It may weaken the guard play slightly, maybe even more than slightly, but I think it would net improve jiu-jitsu overall. People would pull guard less. They would learn more takedowns, which is net improvement. And I think catch wrestling, if they're outlawing guard pulling, I think that improves in one vector, but weakens in another. But I hope that made sense what I said. And in no way is that it's not meant to be a knock on jiu-jitsu or catch wrestling. It's just meant to be an explanation of what I believe is the best for grappling. And when I say grappling, I mean all of the grappling styles. And mostly for a fight is what I'm saying. Anyway, will you be at ADCC? I got that one. Yeah, ADCC is the best. What would your dream rule set be if you wanted to incentivize the kind of BJJ you need? What's up? Are you all done?
Yep. I think so. I got my first black eye. You know what I mean? Ran into somebody's elbow.
Why'd you do that?
He shouldn't have put it out there, but next time I'll eat the elbow. And eat it straight off. You know what I mean? Woo!
Oh man, you gotta love students. I got some characters in this gym. Okay, what would be if I wanted to incentivize the kind of BJJ you need for MMA? A lot of MMA guys get knocked out in the bottom half guard, so you may want to give top half points, etc. That's interesting, Grant. That's interesting. When I competed in 2008 at the World Championships in Switzerland, for FILA World Grappling Championship. They changed the rules like right when we got there, and they took out takedowns. Think about this rule set. I did not agree with this, but they took out takedowns. It hurt me bad. So I ended up losing in the quarters. I believe I lost in the semis or the quarters. No, I lost in the semis. Okay, I lost the semis to a dude from Britain. Great guy, great jiu-jitsu guy. Forgetting his name off the top of my head, but damn, I forget his name. I lost to him in overtime, but had they had takedowns, I would have won. They took out takedowns. No takedowns. Like you can do them, but you don't get rewarded. Amazing. I was blown away that we were doing FILA grappling, which kind of like comes from wrestling, and they took out takedowns. Like it was like the worst rule set ever. But what they did have was half guard points. Weird. So if you went from full guard to half guard, you would get half guard points if you controlled them. And that's actually how I won the bronze medal, was by getting to half guard. You know, even though it was kind of ridiculous, but whatever. So that's so what I'm going to tell you, Grant, is when they changed that rule, just getting to half guard is points. What's going on out here? Let me make sure these guys are not getting crazy. He's all right? What are you guys doing? He's all right?
They just promoted me. That was the cheer. That was the cheer. They promoted me to black belt over there.
How'd you go to black belt, but you're a white belt? Yeah. Whatever happened to blue?
You gave me that last week, coach.
So how'd you go from blue to purple?
The week before. I'm stumbling over my words, coach. I don't know. But I got a black belt somehow.
All right. I thought somebody was they were cheering and shit. I don't know if somebody's getting hurt or knocked out, or I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm jumping around. So that what I was saying, Grant, is that when I passed to half guard, it became really difficult because my opponent knew that would be points. So harder than jiu-jitsu, because when there's play and a guy is not being penalized in a sense to go to bottom half guard, he fights to never let you get there. And I noticed in that tournament, 2008, it was a little more difficult to get to half guard. So just wanted to mention that to you. So I've actually competed in a rule set like that. So you could argue that top half guard, if you incentivize it, maybe that would improve overall MMA grappling. I think that maybe that's possible. But what would be my dream rule set? It would probably be, I look at guard pulling like the game of chess, like sacrificing a pawn. I've always thought this and used this analogy. When you sacrifice a pawn in chess for gameplay, sometimes you do it to activate your pieces. While your opponent is capturing a pawn, you get a tempo of activating your pieces, and you get some opening lines where you can play and create an attack even though you're down a pawn. I look at guard pulling like that. If someone wants to guard pull, I think it should be, right now, I think it should be a point for the top guy. So if the bottom guy wants to go there voluntarily, give it a point, maybe not 2 points, because 2 points is a takedown. That way it's becomes something that a guy can still do, but he's given up a point. I think that's a minimum. I think that should be a minimum. Do that to jiu-jitsu, you can improve. it's possible to give riding time, like college level wrestling and folk style. You could give riding time a point for, in college, it's a minute or more of riding time. I don't know if it's 1 minute, maybe you make it 2 minutes, but the point being, even 1 minute. Once you do that, it incentivizes top control. So the guy on top is winning, because in a real fight, the guy on top could throw strikes. The bottom guy could throw strikes too. But so I kind of just argued against my riding time idea. But I do believe that being on top statistically is better. So riding time would be nice. So I believe in that. As far as submissions go, you know, I'm still down with taking out the Kani Basamis. I think it's too dangerous. I think heel hooks for most people are too dangerous. I think at the highest level, like ADCC, fine. Have the heel hooks, that's great. For the professionals, if you want to do it, then have the heel hooks. I was brought up in an environment where beginners were doing heel hooks in the 90s. So we were doing heel hooks in the beginner divisions at no-gi tournaments. But what's up, Taylor?
Hey,
You need anything?
I just want to say something.
We're live right now.
Oh,
You want to tell me later?
yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I'm gonna get off in a second, then you can tell me. So, anyway, I lost my train of thought now. Taylor screwed me up. Catch's Walking Dead says Catch's biggest issue is it's a dead art. It's stopped evolving, unless you count BJJ Catch Branch. Yeah, I mean it's. I think that at this point, what Catch needs to do is they need to cross-train with everything that ADCC, BJJ, Sambo, Judo, Wrestling, and amateur folk style, and freestyle, and Greco. Everything that has still been going on, Catch needs to basically just adopt it, kind of like Jiu-Jitsu did with wrestling, and, just adopt everything, and that's it. But I think that oftentimes they're trying to resurrect something that is very, very old, and they're trying to go back to that. And to me, they just need to move forward. But anyway, it's difficult to explain. So thank you, Goldman. Any advice for beginners in BJJ? Yeah, don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Number one rule, don't get hurt. That's the best advice I can give you, because this game is going to hurt you at some point. Just stand them up as a stalemate. Little by little, more and more things made illegal until we reach folk style wrestling. 1981, figure four to the body was made illegal. Late 90s, figure four to the head was made illegal. Yes, sir. How many MMA fights did I have, Coach Brian? I only had 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I only had 4 MMA fights. 4. So, and I lost 2 and won 2. Greetings from Brazil. Thank you. Thank you, Valiant. Don't you think catch has become so much part of the no-gi game, or will it amalgamate so much in the future that you can't call it jits, not catch, but just grappling? Christian, I think that's been like that. Again, the jiu-jitsu that I did in the 90s, guys, in no-gi, it already had catch in it. We were already doing catch. Sure, there were some schools that were doing strict jiu-jitsu no-gi, but we were already doing it. So, but definitely the majority of what we do that's effective, I would say, stems more from jiu-jitsu than it does from catch. And I think that's proven by ADCC. ADCC shows that the majority of what they're doing, you could find it in jiu-jitsu, and not typically in catch. That's why you see the guard a lot more. The catch has the scissors, the body scissors, and they do know the basics of jiu-jitsu, but overall, the majority of it's sure, some catch deserves some credit, 100%. So anyway, guys, I'm starting to get tired. I'm gonna have to go, but anyway, yeah, I kind of just skimming through the last of the comments. No comment. I'm not scheduled for surgery. I hope I can be soon. I really hope so. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Comment down below if you guys have anything else. I'll try to read them. Those that watch this when the live is over, thank you guys for watching. Comment below, and thank you guys for all your support. I think I'm going to do another one later today because I got some other stuff I want to talk about. But so stay tuned. I have not been doing as many techniques as I used to, but I promise I will try to do as much as I can. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time with more great stuff. Thank you guys.